can't. Devotion. Okay, yeah. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Love it. House music all night long. Say what? House music all night long.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this next episode of YouTube Near Me, Not to Hear Me. The song that you hear playing in the background is Devotion from the group called 10 City. The gentleman that you see that I'm with today, this is my boy from way back when.
Right.
We didn't have the gray hairs and,
right.
and all this
I had
other
more hair.
yeah,
Right.
when I had
Right.
some more hair going on, all that kind of stuff. This is the incomparable, my man, all the way from Morehouse College, Baltimore, Maryland. My man, Mike May. What's up, brother? What's going on?
What's going on, Dan? Dan from the Shy. The boy from the Shy.
Yes, sir. So what's up, brother? How you doing, man? You looking good, man.
Trying, man. I'm trying to be like you. Trying to get a radio show, trying to do it all. Hey, with this during this COVID times, man, hey, just trying to keep my head above water.
Ooh.
Trying to stay healthy.
I hear you.
Glad to be alive. Glad to see you. You looking good too, man. Again, I must say I am very proud. I'm happy. I'm honored. I'm privileged to be on your show. YouTube Near Me,
Not to Hear Me.
Not to Hear Me. I love it, man. I love it.
You
saw
know where that comes from.
Right.
Somebody talking to you and they saying something good to you, like, near me, not to hear me, man. I know you know what's going on. Man.
Right. I love it, man. I had to, I saw you and Marcus do it, and of course our girl Tiff. Hey, I said, I got to get on there. Put me down. I felt jealous. I was like, oh man, I gotta be on there. Dad gotta put me on. So, but I'm good, man. All is well, man. I'm just, like I said, happy to be alive. Just, so much has happened. Obviously, who'd have thunk it, right? 30 years later, 30 years, just like that.
Bro, how crazy, man. How crazy. Man, so I have to, since we talked about knowing each other way back when, I know you remember, that's how you know me.
Right. I remember. That's funny. You pulled out pictures. See, I was gonna wait. I didn't know how. You're the host / moderator. I went and found some pictures.
Bro, pull them out, man. Pull them out, because I got some more. I got some more here too.
I said I was gonna wait, but I'm gonna pull a couple out just to show you. I know you remember this. It's kind of a glare. Yeah.
Man, me and Marcus were just talking about this picture. Okay, yeah. So Marcus is wearing a white Morehouse jacket and hat. Now you got to hold up a little. Yep.
Oh,
That's it. That's it, man. This was at y'all place. I think
you took the picture. Right, you took the picture.
This is at y'all place, man.
Right, the year before.
And we were coming back from a party.
Right.
Because we sweated out. And I am soaked up.
Oh,
man.
yeah, your shirt. Yeah, on the picture, yeah, you can see that you were
yeah, bro.
I don't know the glare on it, but you can see that you sweating in there. Right.
Sweating, bro. Sweating.
I don't know what party, what club, somewhere that had house music, obviously.
Because Ant Live was with us. Shout out to Anthony Thompson. He was out there with us, man. P-Nash, we were talking about that because I was like, okay, dude, there are so many pictures that we have taken.
Right.
That I remember taking it, but I'm like, man, dude, I can't find the copies of these pictures.
So many memories. Imagine, I always say, imagine if we had a cell phone back then.
Well, bro.
I mean, I know a lot of stuff we probably wouldn't take pictures,
Ooh.
but just if we had it back then to take the pictures, it'd be too much.
We were taking it on disposable cameras. Because I don't think anybody had like a real joint.
Right.
We're taking on disposable cameras. We had these cameras laying around for I don't know how long. Don't remember what was on there.
Right.
Going to what was the name of the drugstore? We were going to one of the drugstores to get the film developed. And so, man, it was funny to me because when we finally got the pictures, You know my boy.
I can't see that. Who's that?
That's Kamani Thompson.
Oh, Kamani, yeah, from DC.
Yeah.
From Maryland, yeah, DC up this way. Right.
Man, that's how I got to DC because of him.
Right.
Rest
He passed, right? Yeah, he passed. I heard about that.
Man, that was my dude, man. That broke my heart, bro. Yeah, man, but that's how I got to DC. So summer of '96, I come out to visit him and his mom, and I was close with his mom because she's an educator, and I wanted to get into education.
Right.
And she ended up, I visited and we had a great time. She's talking to me about coming to work there in DC. So she's like, Montgomery County Schools is hiring, Peachey County Schools is hiring, DC Schools is hiring. This is where you need to be. Because finishing up my second year at a boarding school. And she was like, yeah, you need to come out of there and come, you need to come to a city. You need to get in and get your chops. And so I got back home and she sent me a article from the Constitution. And it said, it was an article about the need and the recruitment for more black male teachers in the Delmarva area. And this is summer '96. Yeah. So they were like, it was huge. So I got the article and I was sitting there and I was like, I was applying to places back in Chicago. I thought about getting into Chicago public schools. And I was like, just being drawn to it. I was like, okay, maybe this is where I should be. Let me explore someplace new. Let me, do something completely different. Come out, because Chicago's home, but I felt like I wanted to spread my wings. I wanted to do something different. And so, dude, I stepped out on faith, man. My mom said, okay, I support you. Kamani's mom was like, yeah, you could just stay with here at the house, and then you and Kamani go get you an apartment once you got your job, and just make it happen. So, dude, on a whim of a prayer, bro, I rented a van, packed my stuff up, rolled to Silver Spring, Maryland, and was in there kicking it with them at the townhouse. I think they were at the end of Connecticut Avenue. When Connecticut Avenue ends, there is a set of townhouses in that area. I forget the name of the townhouses, but that's where Kamani lived. Got there, interviewed for Montgomery County Schools. I missed that program that they were looking for new teachers, but they called over to Peachey County Schools. I met Bob Gaskins. And Bob Gaskins was the dude who came on to Morehouse and Spelman's campus, and they used to come back in an RV. And they were recruiting teachers for Peachey County Schools. I'll never forget it because I remember getting all the materials and his business card and everything. And so, and that was like a summer or two before I had graduated. So this is '96. So that's like '93. So I remember this cat. I drive over to Montgomery County, Peachey County Schools. I'm on Upper Marlboro Road. You know how that ride, dude.
Right.
So I get there. I walk in the door. And I said, I'm here to talk about, being a teacher for Peachey County Schools. They're like, oh, you need to speak to Bob Gaskins. And no sooner than I walked in the door, he said, and I know you.
Right.
He said, from Morehouse? And I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, I remember you. I get put in my interest form and all this other kind of stuff. And he pulled it right out, dude. He said, man, I was getting ready to call you and see about you graduating. And he's like, yeah, man. And dude, I gave him my resume, showed that I've been teaching. And within in less than 10 minutes. And I thought this was going to be a long, drawn out interview. In less than 10 minutes, he's on the phone, Gordon Sampson, Largo High School. Shout out to Gordon Sampson, all my people at Largo. I'm driving back down Upper Marlboro to get to Largo, walk in the door, meet Gordon Sampson, big, tall dude like me, old school, player. You know how the Maryland cats are. And so 15 minutes later, he's walking me around the school, touring me, saw my resume.
He got the job.
He walked me right up to the classroom. He said, this is going to be your class. I said, oh, wait. I gotta make sure,
the money's right.
Right.
For what?
So I don't have a car. He's like, man, don't worry about that. We'll make sure we get a connect for you, help you get a car. You need to get a place to stay. No, not yet. I'm working on that right now. I'm staying with my boy. He's like, all right, no worries. And dude, I had the job. In less than 30 minutes, man, I had the job. And that's what got me in fall of 96, man, up until 2005. When we rolled out to LA, I was at Largo High School for 4 years, and the rest of that time I was at in DC with Edison Chamberlain Schools with my boy James Shepard, man. And it just and I call Maryland and DC, not Virginia. I call Maryland. I call Maryland, DC a second home, man, because I felt like that's where I matured and really became an independent man. That's like that, and it holds a special place in my heart. So, you know, dude, when you said, "Hey, man, I want to get on the show," I was like, "Oh, my boy from Morehouse, but from Maryland, dude, come on, man, you already know." So, brother, tell me about how'd you get to Morehouse, and then what happened from there, man?
Well, it's funny. I tell a story all the time. It's funny you say that. It started in actually high school where, you know, like yourself, I went to a good, you know, public high school, just kind of similar to Kenwood, where I went to Baltimore City College High School, which was one of the top public schools. And, you know, it was Poly, City, and Western, you know, that were the top schools in Baltimore City, public schools, that is, college preparatory. So it was always, like yourself, it wasn't were you going to college, it was what college you were going to. Okay. And that was always the thing for my family, too. Oh, you going to college. Now, after that, you on your own. You know, it's up to you because, you know, that you're old enough to determine what you want to do after that experience. But anyway, so it's so funny. When I was in high school, my mother actually wanted me to go to a Catholic school. I was raised as a devout Catholic. I'm Baptist now, but so she wanted me to go to Catholic school. And I was like, Catholic school? Oh, no, and all boys. Then you got to wear shirt and tie. I was like, oh, no, that's for the birds. I'm not doing that. That's out. I said, I ain't doing it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And lo and behold, I ended up going to all boys school. And, you know, when we get to Morehouse, you got to wear shirt and tie the whole week. I was like, man, oh, my God, who would have thought it?
Bro.
So, but, you know, of course, through high school, you kind of mature. So I had a cousin who was 3 years ahead of me who went to Morehouse.
Oh.
I don't know if you met my cousin. Well, he was like, when I was a freshman, he was a senior. So George, he's a federal judge now. His name is George Russell III. I don't know if you heard of him.
I think I have heard of him.
Yeah. So he was ahead of me. And I talked to him, like, as I got closer as a senior, I kind of talked about it. And of course I learned about it, you know, hearing about how good of a school it was. And I wanted to go somewhere far enough, really far away from home. And, not too far where it's like, it's going to take, like, not far west or Midwest, but just far enough where, you know, just away from everybody and just something different. Yeah. And Morehouse was a school. And so, and here's another funny story. I was in the first, Stripes, the Stripes program. You remember that?
Yeah.
Student Tigers recruiting, something. That was the first year that they did that. And that's how I met Marcus. Me and Marcus were roommates. Wow. Me and Marcus were roommates that first year.
That's the pre-freshman program.
Correct. So on my senior year, on spring break, they had this college tour. It was called Stripes. You know, I forget what the acronym stands for. But I met Marcus, the dude from the Chi, and it was 2 other people. 3 of us came, but the one kid didn't. It was the one dude who was like 15. He was gonna be like, oh yeah. Actually, it was 2 dudes, 2 kids, 15, Marcus and myself. One guy was from California. I forgot what the other guy was. I was from Maryland. And they had 4 of us in a room. And not only did they have 4 of us in a room, they only had 2 beds. I said, is this how they're going to do this? You know what I mean? I was like, what? Bro. In a hotel. right? But I mean, they brought a cot in or whatever. We worked it out. So I went to so the whole week, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, but I was off the whole week. And so we went to the college tour. I met Marcus, hung out with Marcus, kind of cool. I started seeing dudes from Baltimore I didn't know went there.
Oh, wow.
And so, right. So as me and Marcus were getting to know each other kind of close, it was a cool dude. I was like, yeah, I found out my boys in Baltimore are here. Come on, let's go hang out with me. Hang out, come with me. When they give you, some free time, instead of the formal stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Presentation, smoke screen, all the stuff. Well, this is Morehouse, which was nice, but you want to see the real deal when you want to talk to the brothers that's already there.
Right.
So, and the week we came was also the week that they did the freshman step show. Because that's when they did it.
Oh, yeah.
It was in spring.
Yeah. It's in the spring.
So I was like, wow, this school was a lot. I had first of all, I had no idea what to expect. You know what I'm saying? But then once I saw my boys that was from Baltimore there, who actually stayed in Hubert,
Hubert.
Like, yeah, he's Hubert. Well, that's why I ended up staying. He's like, this is the dorm you want to stay in. This is, he just showed me the ropes. This is what we do. I said, y'all living like this? He's like, oh, yeah, man. I mean, they just, put it this way. I don't know. I didn't see a book the whole weekend I was there. I was like, but again, they're a year ahead of me. Say freshman, technically. So, and again, like I said, I had a cousin, but he was a junior. See, I got to stay with him like one night. He even hanging out and party, but he about to leave. So, his vibe was a little bit different because he was off campus. Then I had friends who were on campus that were freshmen. They just getting there, and we talking about the spring of '87, which I graduated in '87. Marcus and I graduated in '87, so I won't get into the fall. But that weekend,
and the fall is when I came in. I graduated in '86, took a year out, and came in fall '87.
So after that weekend, I was like, I'm sold. I was like, Marcus, you coming? He's like, yeah, I'm coming. Because a lot of kids in that program hadn't been accepted yet. And I can't remember I think Marcus had been accepted. I think I had been accepted. So that's part of the reason why I went down there, because I got accepted. My mother said, well, you need to go check it out, see how it is, see if you really like it. You know what I mean? Because you may not like it. You don't know what it's like, So I loved it, man. I was hooked.
So what sold you on Morehouse? What was it? Because like you said, you didn't want to be going to a Catholic school. You don't want to be around dudes. I'm assuming like high school.
It was a lot. Well,
and so now it is college.
It was a couple things. As a young man that's 18, 19, hormones raging, Spelman. Spelman was one. Right across the street. Well, not just Spelman. You had Spelman. You had Clark. You had Morris Brown. You had Atlanta University at that time. Remember, it wasn't Clark Atlanta University. It was Clark College and Atlanta University. Right. And my uncle years ago, well, you don't know, my mother's brother, he got his master's from Atlanta University.
Wow.
When it was Atlanta U, not when it was Clark Atlanta. Right.
Yeah.
I had an aunt that was already down there, but family being down there wasn't it. Like I said, it was the whole vibe, man, the whole camaraderie, the whole, they gave a great presentation.
I know, listen, you had the formal presentation.
Right.
I didn't have none of that.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what I had. I came down sometime between late '86 and early '87, and I was visiting with my boy from home and his mom who lived there. And his mom's name is Billie Jean Hooker. It's Dr. Billie Jean Hooker because she was a professor over at Spelman. So I go to visit him, and I'm with my mom and my sister Carol, and we go over to visit. She takes us. His mom takes us on a tour of Spelman. That's all I needed to see. And bro, you know it just like I know it. Don't get me wrong. Our cities are known for beautiful women. Baltimore, DC got some chocolate city, bro. Come on, man. It's B-more, bro. Come on, man. It's South Side and West Side of Chicago, bro. Listen, right. So we know we got our cities that are doing it, but dude, I have never in my life been to a campus. Now, I've seen other places. I've never been to a campus with nothing but sisters.
Right.
And the vast majority of them are fine. And
Right.
and wanted to talk. So I was just like,
right, yeah, right.
hey, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
And then now one of the people that were, I don't know if you remember, I think his name was John Henry. Was it John Henry?
John Gates.
John Gates, that's it. Yeah, John Gates. John Gates was the main
orator.
Right. He was, I guess, a head committee chairperson. So when my mother heard him talk and heard how his experiences and what the kids would be doing once they get here, once you become a man of the house, or not a Morehouse man, but a man of the house. Oh, she was already so. She's like, oh, you've got to come here. I need my son to go here. And then it was, like I said, it was a well organized. Everybody. I hate to use this term, or hate when people, especially about black people, he speaks so well. I mean, what do you expect? You know what I mean? I hate that. It's not that he just spoke eloquently. He was in college, an educated guy he's supposed to be, who was also who transferred from another school. Because he was much older by the time he got to Morehouse.
If I'm not mistaken, he came out of Gary,
right.
Indiana.
Yep, Indiana. Right. So he was the moderator, the MC, or whatever, kind of like the lead person. Each time they had all of us together, the parents and the kids, every time we met during this whole stripes program, during that whole weekend or whatever. So, it was just well put together. It was a few hiccups along the way because it was the first one. Because, each year they kind of improved on it.
Right.
But the package they put together, the people they had presenting, talking, the different people from the different classes, freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, whatever. It was, I was impressed. I was like, these dudes got it together. He's like, I didn't feel like I was going to college. I don't know where felt like I was going, but it didn't seem like college. And I knew that, that was part of things that got me sold on how well this dude was together. You know what I mean? And the fact that I had friends that were from Baltimore already there. You know what I mean? And then they gave me the lowdown. I was ready. I was ready to go to school that next month. You know what I mean? That's how excited I was. And then when I got back home and told people that, I'm going to Morehouse, I committed, and whatever, the people, girls was like, oh, really? You know what I mean?
I was about to say.
They was like, oh, wow. Really?
It is something, really? It is something to be said when you say, you go into a prominent HBCU. I'm going to Howard. I'm going to Hampton. Right. I'm going to Tuskegee. I'm going to Southern.
Right.
But you can say all of them.
You say Morehouse, the whole attitude, the whole demeanor changes. Everything. Everybody's like, oh, wow, okay. Wait a minute. You got you're not even there yet, and you got a whole new level of respect. And I say, that's powerful right there. And the funny thing is, I never even considered Howard. You know why? Not because it's not a good school.
Right. That's right in your backyard.
That's right. And I had like yourself, I'm sure, you have a lot of friends that go to HBCU from who you went to school with. So I was like, nah, it's too close. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? And even Hampton, between Hampton and Howard, I know a lot of people.
Right in your backyard, bro.
And they're great schools. I got a lot of good friends who went there and had great experiences. But the experiences that I've had, looking past tense, you know what I mean? Of course, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew where I wanted to be, what school I wanted to get it from, my education. And I would do it a million times over and over. And of course, I would study better. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
Because my study habits, like you, and when I listened to what you were saying, how when you got there, you was like, oh, hey, I was just ready for the world, man. And once I got there, and I'm gonna tell you another story real quick. This part of it. Now, Marcus and I actually were going to try to be roommates because, like I said, I met him. He was the first dude I met.
Okay.
And
because Marcus and Robert Hall with Pat.
Right.
With Pat Barney.
I end up actually staying at Hubert Hall. He ended up staying at Robert Hall. It's all about how you get your stuff in or whatever. I said, you know, it's cool. It didn't work out that way. And actually, you know, who my roommate was supposed to be freshman year? Well, actually, who was assigned to me? Ennis Cosby. I tell people, when I got my card, it didn't have a name on it. And I couldn't understand why it didn't have my name or nobody's number. And so when I got there, when, you know, freshman week, we got there, the RD was like, oh, your roommate's going to be Ennis Cosby. I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Right. You know, at that time, the Cosby Show, he was a man.
He was the man.
And I was like, oh, that's why. He's like, they just didn't want random people calling. Not that it was random, but they just didn't want to give the
info,
home phone number out. So Ennis Cosby was supposed to be my roommate freshman year.
Wow.
We get there. I get there first. I settle in. He comes about a couple hours later. So Ennis comes over with, remember CJ, his boy?
Yeah, CJ. Yeah.
He comes over with CJ. Now he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Ennis, da-da-da. This is my boy CJ from Philly, blah, blah, blah. He said, look, man. You know, he was straightforward. He said, look, man, I was, you know, CJ and I known each other since, you know, high school, whatever, and I really would like to be roommates with him. He said, I got nothing against you. I don't know you like that. I just would prefer to be roommates with CJ, if you don't mind. So for a minute, I was like, hold up. You know what I mean? I was like, look. I started to say, you know, me being Baltimore, I said, I don't give a shit who you are. I said, I tell you what. I didn't come off that strong, but to myself, I was like,
for real?
Really? You just got it already? You trying to flex like that? So, but he was cool about it. I mean, he was trying to be as cool as he can be, you know, saying that you just got there. You know what I mean? Already trying to make changes. You want to, which I get it. So I was like, look, man, I heard things about this dorm. I would prefer to stay here. And so whoever CJ roommate is, if that dude don't mind switching, I'm good with that. But I'm not moving. I said, if you want to go over there where he is, that's cool. But I'm going to stay here.
Because he was in Thurman?
So the dude that was CJ roommate was David Ham, who went to middle school and high school with me from Baltimore. So I didn't have a problem with that because I knew him. I didn't know, and actually, I didn't know he went to Morehouse. I mean, I didn't know he was there. I went to do him. So it was cool. So ever since then, you know, God rest his soul, he's always respected me of how I handled that. And I was cool with it. You know what I mean? Because I could have been a real ass. I'm like, nah, man.
And this was a good dude, man.
Right. Right. And I was, but good dude or not, I'm saying the way I handled it and carried it, I could have been a real butthole about it. But I wasn't. I was like, no, I'm good with it. I was like, as long as the dude don't mind switching, but I prefer to stay. You know what I mean? And he's like, he's like, cool. So he was like, yo, Mike, what's up? What's up? Like, even before people knew who he was, I knew him. And he was like,
because dude,
hey, Mike. And he would always see me shout, like, what's up, Mike? What's up? He never forgot that. And he respected me and I respected him. You know what I mean? And we had to go to, you know, Gloucester Hall, make all the changes or whatever. And I met, you know, Ms. Cosby, who at that time I thought was the most beautiful black woman I've seen.
As Camille Cosby.
I could not. When I tell you, when you see like a glow around somebody, and she was her demeanor, her smile,
like she floated.
Like his father was there, but his mother was there. His father, you know, Bill Cosby didn't come, but his mother came. So I met his mother, whatever. She was nice, or whatever. Like, this is my mom. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, she was a beautiful woman. So anyway, long story short, that was supposed to be my roommate freshman year.
Wow.
It wasn't Marcus. We couldn't work it out. It was supposed to be Ennis Cosby. Ended up being David. David, you know, he left, I think, after a year. He didn't come back sophomore year. And then, you know, as you know, Marks and I finally became roommates my last year there, which is a crazy thing.
At the house on Lawton.
Right. And the other thing about that with Marks and I, while we stayed so close, I said, we were still cool. I said, yeah, you just crossed the way. We good. Because, you know, I was in the house music, you from the shop. Hey, I love house music so much. People really, you probably heard it. people actually thought I was from Chicago.
They thought you're from Chicago. Yes, sir, man.
They're like, no, you can't love house music, not music. You got to be from Chicago. Nobody else loves house music like that, but people from Chicago. I said, that's not true. I said, they my boys, they cool, yeah, we love it, but I ain't from Chicago.
Man, as I learned years later on when I moved there, man, Baltimore's house scene is deep, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all beat the box. Yeah, y'all beat the box.
But it's not. And as I learned, it's nothing like that Chicago house. Hey, house music all night long. I learned, and Marcus will tell you, man, like with the music, and you guys, I got so much. I couldn't wait to get back the next year to see what tape he recorded on WBLS. I could not wait. I was like, Marcus, you gotta give me that. I gotta make the tapes.
We
like
making copies. Making copies.
But I couldn't wait. He was like, oh yeah, I got something good. And he's like, yo, I loved it. I was like, we love all kinds of music, but we really love house music.
Ooh, bruh.
And we love to go to the party and dancing and all that other stuff. You
make me think of
right. I was around there somewhere.
No, you are. Now that's the before picture. Right, this is before we get ready to go out to the party, right?
Right.
Let me show you what the after picture was. I think we were at the Mill.
Oh yeah, the Mill.
Look at Reggie Bridie's shirt. Look at his sweater. His sweater is
that me on the end?
That's you on the end.
And then Ant, is that Ant?
No, also? That's Marcus in the middle, and that's me on the end.
Oh, right.
No mustache, looking thin.
Right.
And that's Reggie Bridie. Look at Reggie Bridie's sweater. It's soaked. My jeans are soaked. We was up in there. I think it was the Mill. I think it was Excelsior Mill that we went to. But bro, that party was at the beginning of the year, man, and I was just like, oh my God, man. That party was so much fun, man. So much fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I love the experiences, the people I met at Morehouse, and the fact, and the funny thing, and Marcus is my man, through and through. It was because of him that I met you.
Yeah,
that's how I'm telling you, Reggie, everybody, Josanna, all the whole Chicago clan. It was all because of Marcus. I mean, of course, you met other people from other states, but that's how I became so close and close knit with all the Chicago people was because of Marcus. And
I don't think you were in the picture, but this was Freaknik.
You know what? That was the year after. That was 93. I left. That was the next year.
I was
gone by then.
Bro, when I tell people we had the coals were hot, look at your boy Norm in the front.
Right. As they say, that nigga Norm. Right. Nigga Norm. Who actually, I think he got a hat that said that nigga Norm. I remember that.
We got it for him for his birthday. We all chipped in from the crib and got him that hat. Right. I was like, yo, dude. Because there was a couple of norms on campus, and it was funny, man. It was like, Lord, please forgive me. But you could only identify people by just kind of just like the way that you said it. It's like, so it's Norm, and somebody like, what Norm are you talking about? And we were like, that
nigga Norm, right?
and it became
right. It stuck with him.
It stuck, man. And the foolishness, right? Clowning. Right. Oh my God!
But you know what? I didn't know any other Norm, to be honest with you, and not that I can remember. If there was another Norman on campus, which it probably was, like, it's a common name like Mike.
Norm. It was two other Norms.
I didn't know no other Norm. I only knew the Norm from Chicago. AKA that nigga Norm.
That nigga Norm. Norm,
right.
What's
up,
bro?
I know he had a hat to hat.
That's it.
The other thing.
Check this out. What was on your wall at the Lawton Street on your apartment? In the room with Mark? What did you have on there?
The great kings of Africa from different countries. Yep. And you know what? Yeah, You know what? Those pictures, I'm so mad. And in the country of Africa, I'm so mad because they got destroyed. And I had them in I don't know, it was a flood.
Oh,
And the
bro.
garage, they got messed. Yeah, they got destroyed. I was so mad. I had them in storage or in the garage somewhere. In the flood, they got water damage. I had to
Man,
throw them
bro.
away. I love those posters, man. I love those posters.
Hey, I don't know. What do we do when in our downtime? What were we all at the college famous for playing? What game?
Is that what it is? Oh,
Do
yeah.
do you see me?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Whose house is that at?
I can't even remember. It was somebody's crib we were kicking it at and hanging out at. And it's so typical because we are playing. It was two girls. I know them two girls are from Spelman. I know dude was from Morehouse. But it was always this whole thing of, all right, well, Morehouse, we're gonna play Spelman.
Right.
We gonna bet on it.
Right.
We're gonna make this. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I guess I've tried to explain the experience, and when I was talking about it in my story, man, it's just that for me, like 87 through 89 was like a blur. Like I remember the fun and everything. But I just remember, man, grades just tanked. Like I didn't focus. I wasn't books. What are you talking about? I couldn't afford books at the time. I was like, well, all right, whatever. And I was just trying to get over and just trying to make it. But I was having at the time so much fun, bro. So much fun. It was epic, the things that we did. The first time that 87, well, 88 then, spring, just after spring break, or what was it, before finals, the first Freaknik I had ever been to, over there in White Park.
Right, yeah, fall right, 88, and which was on my birthday.
Wow.
On my birthday. How you can't get any better than that. Freshman year, you have a Freaknik. You're like, what is Freaknik? And it falls on, like clockwork, the Saturday after classes are over, April 30th. And then you said in the first week of May is what? Finals. Right. So in that year, it just happened to fall. Freaknik happened to fall on April 30th because you had a reading period Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
Freaknik that Saturday, exams start that Monday.
Yep.
But you're right. I mean, you kind of talk about how, and I can kind of expound on that, like how from each year to each year. So fall of 87, you're excited. My mother's like, look, you're not down here to play. They give you a whole speech. I want you to do your work. And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm here now. I made it. So that first week, that first week, I had second thoughts, believe it or not, because it was hot. What was hot? We had to wear them ties, right? You know what I mean?
Bro.
And we weren't, at that time, I told you, man, I was a 19-year-old, 18-year-old whose hormones were raging. Raging. I'm just keeping it real. I'm a dude, you know what I mean? And I had never been to, I shouldn't say been to, I always had co-ed education, you know what I mean? I've never been like to a private institution where just single sex, you know what I mean? I always had some type of female in my class. Now I'm 18 years old, and that first week, all I'm saying is like, dude. I was like, it's cool to hang out. And I'm like, no, this is for the birds. You know what I mean? I said, this is crazy. I'm looking around the class, trying to have everybody pay attention. We gotta take these tests. And I heard you say like yourself, some tests you just like, oh man, I ain't taking that. I literally, they said, well, you take the test, like the foreign language, the math test. They had to test you for English to see where they want to put you. And I regret saying it, but I'm saying I purposely bombed them because I was so hot. I was tired of taking the test. I want to do it. I was like, I ain't taking no damn test. I'm tired of it. I took French in college, in high school. I still had to take French 101. I forgot the math class. I did so bad.
I was in 051 with Ennis Cosby.
Right. And Marcus and I went 051 together.
See?
With Mr. Leon. I don't know if you remember her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had Dr. Verrett.
Right. So
that freshman year. Yep.
So I said, oh, okay. I didn't do well in those tests purposely because I just wasn't focused, man. You know, the whole week, you know, you couldn't get on Spelman's Camp. You couldn't even look over there.
They weren't even there until later on.
Right, exactly. So I was kind of feeling like,
Don't tell me you went on
Ashby
Street, man.
Huh?
Did you go on Ashby Street one night?
No, I didn't. I'm sure I did, but I'm just saying that whole first week, I was kind of like waiting for, you know, everybody to come back. I was like, because, you know, this is this freshman week. They just trying to pump us up, trying to get us ready, trying to, you know. And I was like, yo, I don't know if I can take classes with dudes all the time. I can't concentrate. I need some chicks in there. I need some eye candy, something to stay focused, halfway focused, give me some inspiration.
Right.
But, you know, eventually, you know, everybody comes back in, you know what I mean? The upperclassmen is a little bit different. I mean, you still take most of your class with freshmen, obviously, but it's a little different once class is in. Because now you get to see, you know, other dudes. You can kind of go over to Spelman, you know, during the day if you have to. Clark, hang up. Right. Before they bricked it in, you know, you could drive down that street, you know what I mean? The bookstore that was on the corner. So.
J.P. Brawley.
Right. So my freshman year, academically, I think the first semester I did okay. I don't know if I failed a class or got a D in it. I had to take it over. So first semester I did all right. And so at that time, your grades were still coming home. My mom's like, all right, I'm paying too much damn money for you just to be getting these, you know, C and D class. You know what I mean? You too far away. And so the second semester, I brought them up did a little bit better, but I still had to take some classes over. Sophomore year, I guess what you call fell in love. I don't know if you remember my girlfriend at that time, Monique. She was kind of tall, right?
Yes.
Got a girlfriend, and I was staying in Whitehall, air-conditioned dorms.
Whitehall.
I'm not doing the work and I'm really not doing the work now because now I got a girl. Well, the plan was if I get a girlfriend, I'll be more focused. You know, because you're not out at parties as much. I'm not hanging out with the fellas. You know what I mean? Man, I probably had the worst academic year ever because all my time I had so much fun freshman year. So now I gotta, you know, try to do better sophomore year, first and second semester. I was spending so much time at that time with her because all her friends, some didn't come back, other people moved off campus. You know what I mean? When you're a sophomore, if you had the ability to move off campus.
Right.
So it's just us. You know what I mean? You know, at the class, before class, on the weekend. And Darius, I don't know if you remember Darius, used to cut hair. He was my roommate.
Yep.
Darius. And so Darius used to cut hair, had a car, there's always people in the room. So after sophomore, so I think at the time, Monique, I think she had like a 3.839. I had like a 0.38. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
So my grades went down and hers skyrocketed. It worked for her, it didn't work for me.
Right.
So of course after that sophomore year, my mom was like, look, you could fail at home. You know what I mean? Get no grades. He's like, if you're gonna fail, you can fail at home. So of course I turned it around.
Did you do summer school?
No, and that's the thing. I didn't go to summer school until my junior year, after junior year. Because remember, Morehouse didn't have, I don't think you could take summer school at Morehouse. Or you had to go somewhere, go find a school at home.
Georgia State
that would take,
like that, yeah.
No, you had to go, you had to find a school. You had to find a school at your hometown that would accept the credits. You know what I mean? Like I had to go to Morgan State at that time before they did, because Morehouse didn't have summer school till later, like out later in that years. You remember?
Yeah.
So and I didn't start going to summer school until after my third year, after my junior year. When I said, I'm about to get out of here. I ain't trying to be here forever. You know what I mean? So of course, junior year I ended up staying in Mays Hall.
Mays.
And I got staying on the floor with Larry, Big LL, Larry Lewis.
Larry Lewis.
Reggie was there.
Reggie Bridie.
Reggie Bridie, the twin, who was roommates with God rest his soul, one of the twins from Jersey.
Yeah.
His name just that quickly, but you know what I'm talking about. They died in a car accident.
Yeah.
So my grades got 100% better. I got like a 3.0 or 3 something. I wasn't trying to come back home.
That's the year that I left. So I left in '89.
Right. So
Matter of fact, I didn't even leave. I was on campus. I stayed with Patrick Barley, and we lived at ITC.
okay.
Because you used to come down that way. And I was working at Atlanta Hilton and Towers. I was a bellman.
Right.
Fall
You had some jobs.
of '89, I was working there because I used to work at Rich's.
I remember that because I came
Lennox.
to see you. I remember that. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you hooked. I remember that.
Yes,
I
sir.
said,
So I was at Rich's, and then I got the job at Atlanta Hilton Towers because I couldn't get into school that fall. So now I got a .63, man. They were like, nah. I took it all the way to Dr. Keith, and he was like, son, love you, but you got to go.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And that was
hey,
rough.
I was almost at that point. Trust me, after that sophomore year, my grades had tanked. My mom was like, you can fail at home, paying all this money. You can these what you bringing. I was like, don't worry, I will change it. I would because the last thing you want to do is you go down. You know, you tell your friends, family, oh man, you back home. You know what I mean? What?
You know, I was there. I've been there.
I was like,
been through that. That was rough, man. That was rough.
I got it together. And then the fourth year, my so-called senior year, I went back to Whitehall, and then
okay.
And then of course, over time, it's one of those things where my grades just, one of those things steadily got better.
So what was it that helped you to start regaining focus? So I talked about what Kelly Vini had told me. Well, she's like, when I came back in '91, she was like, Dan, you got to take 4 hours out of the day. It has to be the same set of hours every day, and you got to hit them classes, all your classes, same thing every day. And she said, you got to disappear. You can't be found anywhere. Like, you can't be in your dorm. You can't be somewhere in the halls. I mean, you got to disappear, and you got to do it every day between these certain hours. She's like, pick from 4 to 8. And so what I did was, when I got back to campus, I disappeared, and I was always at Club Woody, but I was in the graduate rooms that closed the door.
Right.
And nobody would bother me. I always had my back to the window because I don't want to be looking and somebody looking at me. I was like, nope, lock the door and I'm good.
I think, well, I think at that time, like I said, when my mother told me, we had a serious conversation after my sophomore year. As soon as she told me or made the statement, you can fail at home, that was enough for me. That meant if you don't get it together this semester, you're not going back. It didn't matter what the school said. It mattered what she said because she was footing the, you know what I mean?
Footing the bill.
Right. She was like, look, I'm not paying for it. I'm only, committed to helping you with 4 years. And, I was already struggling at that time. When I say struggling, it was just, wasn't like I wasn't on a scholarship. You know what I mean? We weren't the richest people. We weren't rich at all.
No, hey.
By any means. So
single mom?
Right.
Mine too.
Single mom. And it was like Pell Grant here, financial aid here. And then once I, heard that and we had a serious conversation, she's like, do you want to be here? You got to be serious.
Who was your financial aid?
I can't remember.
I know mine.
They stayed there forever. They've been. I can't remember her name, but
Miss Green.
I don't know if it was Miss Green.
I had Miss Green, bro. Your last name is May.
May, right? So it was.
So mine was
somebody
A
else,
whatever it is, but Miss Green.
Mine is,
ooh, bro.
Right.
If you didn't know how to sweet talk her and get on her good side, she didn't play, man. She did not play. If she ain't like you, you wasn't gonna get no after school job.
Right.
You ain't gonna get no papers or nothing like that. She'd be like, yeah, whatever. You're gonna get the basics. And man, I had to learn how to sweet talk her, man, for real.
So yeah, I basically kind of really buckled down, but you're right. I kind of used a little bit of what you're saying, made myself disappear instead of just trying to do group studies and just kind of went somewhere on my own or just really dedicated some time like when I had to study. And then I also took, I think 12, instead of taking like 15 hours, I took like 12 hours, I think both semesters, just to kind of get a hold of. I mean, you still got a lot of time. When you only take 12, that's a lot of time, 12 hours.
A lot of time.
But I only got 4 classes that I can focus on and dedicate my time to really doing well in those 4 classes. So next semester comes, okay, I got 12 hours. I got to do well on these 4 classes too. So that way, you know, I'm getting above, keep my head above water. Like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm getting my mojo back. I'm serious about this. I got, you know, supposedly 1 to 2 more years. You know what I mean? I gotta get moving. So I just kind of buckled down and just looked at the classes I needed to take, whether it was classes I need to take over, and then just condensed the hours. Because I think the first year I took like 16, 17 hours first and second semester. Then my sophomore year, I think 1 year, the first one I had like 12, but I didn't do nothing. You know, I bombed out in those classes.
Too much time.
Second semester, I think I had like 15 hours, and you know, I started to get a little better. And then, but that next year, I came back after having that serious conversation. I just put my mind to it and said, "Look, I got to do well, or else, you know, it's now or never." You know what I mean?
So, Mike, let me ask you this, man. If there were 5 things that, let's just say that there's a young man watching this program or young lady watching this program, and you could tell them 5 things that would help benefit them as they're about to embark into the school, and just saying, hey, if you kind of have stuck in the job, here's 5 things I can tell you could do well on, and this will help you. What would you think those 5 things would be?
Well, the first thing is, well, you know what? I don't know if you know, I have a son, right, who's in college.
I did.
Yeah, my son.
What?
He will be 21. He's going into his last year.
Wow.
Not to get too far off tangent, he was a way better, or is a much better student than I am. As far as his smarts, his study habits, much better. Real smart kid. And I'm not saying it because he's my son, obviously. I'm saying it because it's true.
Right.
He's a better student. So he was taking classes in high school that I took at Morehouse, okay? I wasn't taking pre-cal. He was taking stuff beyond pre-cal in his junior year in high school.
Wow.
But that's another story. But what I told him when he got to college, I was like, look, college is about fun. You're going to experience some things now as a as a teen, pre-adult, however you want to look at it, that you won't ever experience again. You're going to meet people. You're going to do stuff. It's not the real world. So 1, remember what got you here. You know, stay focused.
Man, remember what got you here.
Use those tools to, help yourself to matriculate through school. You know what I mean? I mean, the obvious one, I hate to say it, but stay focused. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. You know what I mean? That's another 2. That's 2. You know, remember what got you there. Do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. Stay focused. Fourth is when you need help, ask for it. A lot of people don't ask for help. When you really your pride gets in the way. I don't know what it is. Sometimes when you think you know it all, when you really don't know it all, you could be at wit's end. You could be like, and a lot of times it's just all about pride. When and that's one thing my mother told me. When you need some help, ask for it. Ask for help when you really need it.
Well, why do you think that's I'm going to pause you in there. Why do you think that's a problem for us? Because I know that was a challenge for me. That was a huge challenge for me for asking for help, man. Because the first thing I felt was I didn't want other people to think that I was stupid or dumb.
Or you don't want people to feel sorry for you.
Right. Yeah. So, oh, man, I got to help this dude out. I'm like, I just –
charity case, right.
And I felt like that in class with professors. And that probably was the thing that I had developed relationships, but I had tried to develop these quasi-social relationships, and not the kind of relationships that I thought were necessary or really are necessary in order for me to be successful in school. I didn't know how to ask the right questions. So the way I asked questions was, well, I don't understand it. And they was like, well, I can't help you. You need to read. Right. I said, I have read it. So what I found out is that when you go to ask a question, always inform the person of what you understand or what you know. Then lead them to the point where you're saying, well, here's where it is getting confusing. Here's what I don't understand. Here's what I understand. But here's where it's starting to get gray. And so that the person who's receiving the information can feel as though they have a starting point. Because even in your explanation of what you think you know, that may be the problem right there. Well, you got this information in mixed place. This is what you should have. And then now it's like, oh. But getting over that first, man, dude, that was hard, man.
It is, yeah. You're right. Asking for help is you're right, is a task in itself, because I think you want to think that you know enough, but obviously if you need help, you don't know what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's something you're lacking somewhere. So it's all, again, I think part of it is, like you said, asking the right question and plain and simple pride. Sometimes people's pride is like gets in the way. Man, I ain't asking nobody for help. I got it. You know what I mean? I'll figure it out myself. That's, I think, hinders a lot of people in trying to move forward, because the pride just gets in the way.
It hurt me. Yeah. It hurt me tremendously.
So, but one of the things, and you probably realize it too, and sometimes you may not realize it until you talk to enough teachers. If you think about it, what did your professors always give you aside from the syllabus? What did they always tell you, or what did they always give you? Their office hours. They always gave us, they said, all right, here's the syllabus. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? To give you stuff. And these are my office hours. Use them. But every teacher told us that.
But I didn't understand what that meant by going to visit somebody in the office hours, man. What does that really mean?
I learned very quickly. And the teachers that were willing to give you, go from that D to C, or from that C to B, you know what I mean?
Because you put some time in at the office.
Right. They're going to say, hey, Mr. May, I ain't seen you not once. And now you want to come to me talking about, please don't fail me? Get out of here. But those teachers that say, you know what? You've been trying. You came to my office hours. You took coaching classes. Yeah, you're good. You okay. And I see, your rationale why you made this mistake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was always those teachers that you spent time or came to the office hours that they told you to come, the effort. They want to see some effort. But if you just want to come around when it's last hour, 11th hour, they got no love for you. No. They're like, you grown. Look, you ain't at your mom. You know what I mean? You paying money to do this. You're paying for this, and this is what you pay for. It is, everything's all included. You know what I mean? When I tell you to come to my office hours and you don't show, come on.
I still get paid.
You know what I'm saying? So like you said, you don't realize it early on. You be like, okay, yeah, he's in the office hours. I don't want to see him when I'm in the class. Well, I want to go to my after hours for him. But you realize early, well, I did, that as you matriculate and you sophomore, junior, whatever year, you get older, hey, I'm gonna see this dude at the class. He ain't got another class. I gotta talk to him. Say, look, hey doc, or whoever is not a doc, Miss So-and-so, the last test or that last quiz, I just wasn't getting, I don't understand, and this is where I'm having a problem. And they may say, you know what? So-and-so is having a coaching class, get with them, or I need you to come back another time because I got this. When they see you're really interested and you want to pass the class, regardless of you care or really concerned, you just trying to get the play. Even trying to finagle, like you said, it was all about, like you said, finagling, finessing.
Finagling.
Right.
Brother, we coined that phrase.
Well, you just trying to get by. You just trying to get it so you can move on to the next. Because, some classes you can't take until you've passed that class. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, you can't take this until you finish that. I'm going to tell you the hardest class, and anybody who's a business major, I'll tell you, the hardest teacher was Dr. Siddiqui. Quantitative methods. That was.
You remember Sebastian
me.
Sherrod?
I'm saying for me.
You remember Sebastian Sherrod?
Yeah.
My cousin?
Yeah, from Chicago. Yeah.
That was his class.
That
Dr.
was
Siddiqui?
the hardest. When I tell you, that was the hardest class I took at Morehouse. And you know, actually, I took that when I was on Lawton Street. I saved it for last. I was
really?
Like, and not only did I save it for last, I had no choice. I had at 8 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Forcing you to get up. Forcing you to get there.
God, I dreaded that. I was like,
do you know what?
The first time I took, I failed. Because you know, when you know a class is hard, when he starts off by saying, and I grade on the curve, when 50 is an A, you're like, what? Right, right. 50 was an A. That's how hard this class was. The first time I took it, the year before, I had to have the dude that had the highest GPA in the class. You remember Rob Crawford?
Yes, I do.
He got, of course, so whoever has the highest GPA or person who normally does well,
he sets the curve.
Set the standard, right. So, of course, he gets a 60. So now it's like, oh, my God. This dude getting 60s and 70s when 50 is already an A.
Hey, let me tell you about in poli-sci. So Tobe Johnson is the department chair, right? Everybody know about Tobe
Johnson.
with the
vein,
right. With the vein, right?
The glasses, I remember. I
avoided having to take his comparative politics class.
Which for your major? That was your
for
major.
My major, right, and had it, and that's the one he taught. I avoided it because I took the class in Chicago and I transferred the credits. And I had to sit in his office and literally for a couple of hours, I'm firing through this stuff that I had probably taken several months before, but I'm answering his questions. I'm firing it back at him. So I was like, whew, I got through that one. But it wasn't him that got me. It was an econ class that I had to take as a prereq for poli-sci. It was micro and macroeconomics. And Sam Green was my professor.
I had that degree. I forgot I had
Dr. Green, man. This dude, man, he was the only. There's only so many people that have doctorates in economics. If you just know this in general, that's a brother with a doctor in economics. He got it from Pitt. So this dude knew his stuff, right? He wasn't giving no love, bro. I literally walked into class one day and dude dressed shabby, you know, he looked like almost like he was a Fat Albert dude.
Right.
And I was like, listen, man, and I'm saying it jokingly, but I was almost half serious. I was like, listen, bro, I got this hookup. I can get you some Jordans. We can get you out of these New Balance. You know, right. I know a couple of professors over there at Spelman, you know, maybe hook you up on a date or something. And the class is laughing, but I'm kind of laughing too, but I'm half serious. Like,
right, yeah, no, you trying to get this hookup, right?
I'm trying to get the hookup, bro, because he is kicking my butt.
I'm sure.
That was the last class that I had to pass in order for me to graduate. And you know Flo Davis, play ball. Flo, he played ball with Larry and all them. So Flo was
he from California?
No, Flo was from Georgia. He's from Marietta.
Okay.
So Flo and I are sitting there, man, trying to get it in, trying to work it out, man. And so we take the final, dude. I passed the final with 1 point. Flo failed the final by 1 point. Somehow, some way, he got this classes from, you know, they had taken before. He finally walked. But, dude, I was sweating over 1 point. I literally had my parents, relatives, people who coming down. I was like, just hold on. Don't take that flight.
Right.
I may not graduate. Bro, it was stressful. It was stressful. But I was in his office daily, asking him about how the graph does this, if this does this, and when do you buy, when do you, and I can do all this stuff now because I slightly remember all that. But dude, I was focused. And you're right. When you talk about visit your professors during office hours, that was something I didn't do my first couple because I didn't understand it. But when I came back,
I don't think anybody, because you didn't care. It was freshman year. You were just happy to be at the house in Atlanta, GA, where everything was happening.
Where were you at Friday at 12 o'clock? Where was
I
it?
was at 11:55. I was what are you talking about?
At the back gate with your ID talking about. Hey man.
Which is now the new front gate.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was at Spelman.
Lower Manly.
I couldn't get there quick enough.
Ooh, bro.
Could not get there. You got to remember, we were doing that time frame from 86 to 93 probably was
the prime.
Yeah, it had to be.
The prime.
Speaking of prime, think about who was there. Prime time.
Yeah.
Prime, you know what I mean?
David Justice was there at that time.
Your boy Dave Justice, your boy that played for the Hawks.
Dominique
Wilkins. The infamous dunk contest in 1988.
Come
you know
on,
what
bro.
I mean? Think about it. Michael Jordan. I mean,
Mike, you hooped.
Right.
You hooped.
Well, I heard you say Mike couldn't play the ball, but I'm gonna let that pass.
No, Mike, the thing about, so this is what I know about Be More players. Y'all don't give up the rock, bro.
Well,
y'all don't give up the rock.
Well, if you're a point guard, I'm not a true point guard. So.
But you still wouldn't give up the rock because if you got the pass, man, Mike, you about to put that shot up. I was like, it's guaranteed. Yeah. I got this. And so I was telling Marcus today, I said, yeah, man, I got Mike on. I wanted to talk about him. I said, because, we ball with him. I was like, you ain't getting that ball back if you pass it to him. You can forget that. But I was telling somebody, I said, y'all got to understand that the NBA player that should have been there, and I ain't taking nothing away from Harold Ellis. Harold Ellis is a great player. He was a great, and his career is phenomenal. But the player that should have been there is Larry Lue.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember the Clark game at the Omni? And Larry dunked over this dude from just inside the not the dotted line, but just inside the free throw line. He launched over this dude. I remember clearly because Marcus and I had seats right by the basket. And when I say he stretched over this dude, the next morning, Atlanta Journal and Constitution on the sports page, it didn't have all these other teams that were pro teams that were playing. It had Larry on the back page full, and he is bow. And we lost the game, but they still had the picture. Dude, if Larry is watching this, man, I put it hands down.
That's my man. Larry surprised me because he was so cool and so laid back.
Smooth, bro.
And then he would play, I think he would play every once in a while, like around school. But he was just so nonchalant about it. But when he played, I was like, this dude is bad. But we had a lot of cats like that, man. You know who else should have been there? Ant Live.
Anthony Thompson.
Right. Anthony,
yeah, man.
My man Ant. Ant and I, we played all the time. He even came to Baltimore and played with me. Like, he came to visit one time, and I'm gonna show you a picture. Where is that picture? You remember this?
Yes, sir.
We out in front of the house.
Yes, sir.
I think Anna just came back from playing ball that day.
Yeah, I remember that picture, man.
I will show another picture, but I don't want to incriminate anybody. Well, I guess it's years ago.
Come on, man. Let me see what you got, man. That's a great.
Remember this one? We all in front of.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
Like, who were these girls?
Well, I can tell you who they were. Ant and I were out probably a couple weeks, a month before. One of them worked at McDonald's or somewhere. And Ant was talking to one. Ant was talking to one of the girls. And the other two are their friends. I forgot which one. Oh, actually, I do know. Here's one with you in the
clowning.
Right. You in the front.
In the front.
Yep, front of the house. So Ant was dating one of the girls, and the other two were just friends of theirs. That's all. He met her at one of the fast food joints. So, he was dating her, try to get a hookup, one of those things.
Get some food, man.
One of those times, like, yeah, man, go talk to her so we can you go date her, we get the hookup.
I need some fish fillets and some Big Mac, something.
Right,
on,
right.
Brother hungry.
Right. So, but yeah, it was a lot of cats. Like even Herb could play ball. Herb from California. Herb was a good ball player.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? In fact, Herb played ball with Stacey Augman in high school.
So when we talk about Larry Lewis, so that summer that Larry and I graduated in '94, that summer Larry goes to the combine in Chicago. So I'm there that summer.
Okay.
They show the game that Larry was playing in the combine, and he was killing Bamas. Killing them. I mean, they were talking about him on Chicago News. They were like, the Bulls have got to pick this kid up. But then they showed Trent Tucker. And Trent was firing threes up. Wow. Wet. Just everywhere. Wet. Trent Tucker. Wet. Port comes back out that night. Bulls are looking at two players, Larry Lewis from Morehouse College and Trent Tucker. The next day, the paper comes out, sports paper. The Bulls select Trent Tucker. And dude, I was just like, are y'all kidding me? I said, I think about it to this day. Could you just imagine Larry with Mike and Scotty and Horace? Man, come on.
Well, I mean,
come on, man.
They still fat. I mean, they still.
I mean, but dude,
right.
The trajectory had just been dumb. Larry,
not to get too far off tangent, I still have this debate today. And I mean, and I know you're going to be partial and biased, rightly so.
Okay.
But I'm not from Chicago.
Okay.
I tell people all the time that Jordan is the greatest player ever. Ever. There's nobody more relentless, nobody more who willed his way to win, who he just annihilated you. And again, not to get too far off tail, I just want to throw that.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Because I know you saw the last Dance.
I recorded it.
Still got it.
Right.
I get bored and I'm just like, let me watch something. Oh, let me turn on The Last Dance.
And for me, we lived it. We saw it. So like my son, he doesn't, he likes basketball. And of course, they're LeBron fan. And again, I'm not taking anything away from LeBron.
LeBron's a great player.
But he's outstanding. Like, and by the time it's said and done, yeah, his numbers will probably, numbers-wise, will surpass Jordan as far as numbers. But I'm talking about all around, just total package. I'm saying on the court. I ain't talking about personal. Just how he was on the court and how he was as a player, how he excelled and got to the point where he was just unstoppable. You could not beat Jordan. You wasn't at that time. You weren't, and to this day. And again, I know you would agree. There's a little biasness there. Or had he not retired, y'all 8 straight easy. Had he came, and then I didn't know, and you probably knew. Again, Chicagoans probably knew. I didn't know that he was willing to come back.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was. Had he come back,
just give Scotty his contract and hire Phil. There was nothing to talk about. Rodman would have still been there.
Right.
We had Ron Harper.
If Jordan comes back another year in a shortened season, now you only playing, I think it was 60 games, maybe.
Yeah.
And you got a healthy Jordan. Please, man, he'd eked it out one more time. If he hadn't retired those 2 years, no other player. I'm sorry.
We were guaranteed 10 championships, bro.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt that y'all would have got it. I mean, people would have hated on it, but if Jordan doesn't retire in 93, 94, those 2 years that he was out the season, even though he came back at the end of 95, it didn't matter because he didn't play that whole year. Y'all, that's 8 straight, easy. Easy 8 straight. Easy. Nobody, no other team, and I don't even know if another team or player can do that. The impact, the profound impact that this dude had at that time on the league, and it's just the overall athleticism, the overall, he just was a beast. The dude was just Jordan.
You know who I like from your city, man, and got a chance to play a pickup game with him is Melo.
Oh, Carmelo Anthony, yeah. That was a good dude.
I respect him tremendously. I feel some ways he got a raw deal in some things. In some ways, he probably shot himself in the foot. But I got mad respect for Melo and his game. So I'm playing out there outside, not that far from my house. So diagonally from my house, there's a park over there, and there's a hoop spot right over there. There's a park.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
It's a lighted, and it's lighted. There's only one court. It's lighted, and it's got a little short court going half court, but it's the long court.
Was it by the police station?
Yep, right over there.
Next to the police station.
As soon as you cross over.
Actually, that was down the street from your house, literally like 2 blocks away.
Right.
Where you used to live.
On the humble, I just went out there. On the humble, when I lived out there, and Melo was out there. And I think he was at the time, either he was still at St. John's, or he was getting ready to.
He didn't go. He went to
Syracuse. Syracuse.
We went to Syracuse for a year for college. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he went to Towson Catholic when he was here in Baltimore for high school, and then left and went to, I think, Oak Hill Academy for a year.
Yeah.
Before he went to Syracuse, I think that's the way it went.
So somewhere around about his Syracuse time, he was out. But anyway, he was playing, and he was pulling from half court, just letting it fly. He was tall, but he could handle the ball. And it was some hoopers out there. It was some old cats. It was some college cats. This dude was making everybody just look silly, man. And so I got like I said, I got a chance to play with him.
Right.
I don't want to play against him.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to get embarrassed, man. You know, from playing ball when we were back in school, man. Is it Ralph McGill Park?
That near Lawton Street where we played?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. It was covered. The outside was covered. Yep, I do remember, yes.
H-Rap Brown is who we used to play with.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm going to make you remember because I know you remember him. He was the dude that always played with the head wrap on and the long, he was thin, fair, like your beard, but he always had the little kufi on or something like that. And he could ball. I know you remember this dude because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him and I keep looking at him and I'm just like, I know this dude from somewhere, man. I go back and I look at a old Jet magazine. It just so happened in my room, and I'm flipping through and it's a picture of him. And I forget his Muslim name, but that was H-Rap Brown.
Wow. And
we used to ball because this dude, he came with all elbows and knees. He was lanky and he was yoked on you, man. I love playing at Ralph McGill. I love when we played over in not that far from Midtown, that little court that's over in the Midtown area. There was a park over there. But the court that I told Marcus about that I used to love playing at was the Garden over at Georgia Tech. That old dusty gym. You remember that joker, man?
Garden. Yeah, I played at Garden. What was the other one? The Student Center.
Yeah.
One time I even got to go into what's the main gym? At that time, the main arena, I can't remember what it was called.
I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about at Georgia Tech.
We got to play, well, not on that court, because they had, believe it or not, they had a lot of little courts in that building. And somehow somebody let us in, and I can't remember what year, who it was, and we got to play in a practice court on there. It was a full court, but you could still see the main arena where we were playing. It was in the main arena at that time. Yeah, I used to go to me and Garrick and Rod Chappelle and a lot of dudes. Ant, you know what I mean? That was my other problem at Morehouse. Between playing ball every day and partying and hanging out with you and Marcus and other people, house party, house music. Listen, I'm telling you, most of my friends, I felt like I was from Chicago. And you know the sad part, I'm embarrassed to say, and I tell people this all the time, you know I still haven't been to Chicago yet? I probably know about more Chicago events. Taste of Chicago, the Chicago house
Because we talk about it all the time.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm
You
embarrassed
still
to
haven't
say.
been there.
I'm surprised Marcus is still my friend.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
dude, you got to come out. You got to come out. And I'm going to tell you another story real quick.
Yeah.
School related. You remember the March on Washington? I mean, that's the March on Washington. The Million Man March. The Million Man March.
I was there.
You know, Reg and Marcus and Cheese, you know they stayed with me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they came down.
I came down and visited Kamani, and I stayed with Kamani.
All those dudes stayed with me in my apartment that year. And I had just started a new job. And to this day, I'm saying, I'm recording it. I'm embarrassed to even say, you know, I did not go because I thought that if I had went, that I was going to lose my job. I started working for Prudential. I just started a new job.
Wow.
And Marcus and Reg, they say, Mike, we coming down. You gonna put us up? Yo, dude, you ain't got to ask. Of course. You know, we 10 deep. You my boy. Of course you can stay. You know, people don't care. You know what I mean? Literally, it was about 6 or 7 dudes. Like I said, Cheese, Marcus, Reg, maybe 3 or 4. I think Ant came. Even Ant was there, I want to say. They all stayed with me in my apartment. And they was like, come on, Mike, you got to go. I was like, I know. But I was literally scared that I was going to lose my job. Because if I called out, because I just started. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you had to be ready. And then when I got there, when I went to work that day, I felt real bad because my manager, who was a black woman at the time, she's like, I thought you would have called out sick today. I was like, dang. Right. I felt so bad. I felt like crap. I probably was one of the
You should have hit it with the
Right. It was too late. I was there. I was already there. And she was like, yeah, you know, off the side, she was like, you know, I would, you know, you'd have been good if you'd have called out. I would have understood. You know what I mean? It just one of those things where
it was a once in a lifetime thing, man, and I'll never forget it, bro.
And I missed it. Well, all the things that we went through in Atlanta, exposed to, experienced, especially about, you know, supporting the brothers doing a movement.
Oh, bro,
I missed out.
The Rodney King joint. That was crazy, man.
That was, you know,
that day was crazy, man.
You know what? I did not. That's funny. Another story. I was taking, which was my last year, 92. It was April, 2 days before my birthday, April 20th. I'll never forget it. I just took a final exam for what I forgot what class it was, and I'm walking back home to Lawton Street, and I see all this smoke like bellowing up. I'm like, damn, what the hell's going on over there? So I get back to the house, and Marcus like, hey, dude, you get caught up in all that stuff? I said, what stuff? What are you talking about? He said, man, they riding over there by the protesting over by the school. I said, where? He said, he turned on the news, the police car turned over, the police car on fire. I was like, wow. I didn't even know it.
I was there.
Right. I came back home. I took exam. I was tired. I just walked back home. I saw the smoke, but I didn't know what was going on. I came back home, and I was watching on the news. I was like, "Wow."
I'm literally on the steps of Sale Hall, and somebody rang the bell, and so the whole campus came out to Sale, and Dr. Keith came out and was standing on the steps. So he was standing on the steps talking to us at Sale, And I'm standing off the steps to the side. And I'm looking back at the crowd. So you talking about it felt like a couple thousand of us because it was everybody.
Right. From all school, right, Clark, everybody.
But in the distance, I'm looking at GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, Georgia State Patrol, the police, Fulton County Police, lining up on the street. So you know how much of a distance that grassy area is to the gate, to the street.
Right.
So we're gathering, and the thing about it was earlier, not that long ago, somebody got clubbed by the police and ran back up on campus and was bleeding, and then somebody was trying to, and then that's what brought somebody to ring the bell and brought everybody out. So I'm standing and I'm looking out at the crowd, so I got the same viewpoint that Keith has got, but I'm down on the lower side of the steps. He's telling us, gentlemen, go home, be safe, don't protest, don't do any of this. It's not good. Don't go downtown. You know, just y'all got to be safe.
Right.
Kept saying it. As he's talking, tear gas is getting shot over the gate into our crowd. And a canister hit right where he was. And all I heard him say was, and I don't want to quote, but what I thought I heard him say was, fuck it, y'all do what y'all got to do. And he ran off, and the crowd just went, boom, right towards him. We were picking up bricks, anything we could pick up and throwing it. So, you know, there's the gate that's right there by the chapel, and they had that gate blocked off. There was an open area right where the little chapel is as you enter AU and Morehouse campus.
Right.
They had that blocked off. So we went down towards the corner where on J.P. Brawley, you had to jump down off the wall. And they had the four corners blocked off. Dude, it was chaos. I clearly remember seeing Reverend Laurie. And he was there. As I'm jumping off the wall, he's there. And I'm just like, he said, brother, just be safe. Just be safe.
I went back to room. I didn't come back to campus that day. It was a madhouse. I know.
I had on my favorite State of Washington shirt. Oh, bro. When I mean my favorite shirt, man, I had to end up throwing that shirt away because of the tear gas that was permeated in the shirt. Oh, wow. I remember tearing off a cloth or something and wrapping it around my face because the air was so thick. That was my favorite sweatshirt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My homegirl from Chicago gave that to me. That's the University of Washington's national championship sweatshirt. Well, that's the year that they won the for football. So, dude, I'm out there in my sweatshirt. I think I had on some shorts, but I just remember the chaos. I remember the Red Dogs. You know, the Red Dogs, the police that were down there in Atlanta.
Okay. Gotcha.
That was Fulton County's special police. Were beating up on girls from Clark, just hitting them, and the brothers was coming out there trying to help them and getting hit. They're trying to pull the girls into the dorm, and these guys are trying to pull them out. And, you know, it just, man, dude, I remember the helicopter flying low and dropping canisters on the street to try and clear it out. I remember when they turned the car over. That day was, it was out of control. And I remember I couldn't get to my car. I couldn't leave campus. I had to wait until I could find an opening and get out. And that's when I lived out on Cascade. And I clearly remember that 20 was blocked off. I got over towards Westview Drive and got to West End Mall. I made my right-hand turn. I took the long way to get home on Cascade. So I passed Lawton and all that, your house was. I took a long way to get home. I remember calling my mother because I had messages on my phone. Dan, are you all right? Everything is okay.
Right.
Yeah, man. And I was just like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That day was it. Yeah, it was incredible, man. So I think about these young kids now who are.
Man, look at my charger. I'm listening. Hold up.
No, wait. I think about the kids in Black Lives Matter, and they're protesting for George Floyd and trying to affect some change now. And it took me right back into those days at Morehouse, and that was traumatic for me, man, because I didn't want to stay. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave the next day. I was about to pack my car and drive home to Chicago. I was like, I don't want to be down here anymore because what I saw, the brutality, all that stuff, man. It just was out of control, bro. Totally out of control. But made it out, got through it. That was what, 93? Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Mike? Let's see if he come back. But yeah, man, it just, it got about that time and it was crazy, folks. I have to tell you. And so I say that, man, any of the kids that are out there now, man, and just the young folks out there, you do have to be safe. It is a powerful thing to protest and stand up for what you believe in and everything. I honestly tell you that I just appreciate the energy of young people today, because it is a heavy burden to see what we saw, to see the injustice that happened with George Floyd, but to know the other things that systemically we're seeing that are against certain classes of folks who are here. And I just want to make sure that that same energy continues, and that they simply just just try and be safe. That's more than anything else. I think we got Mike made back. Yep, got Mike back. All right, bro.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
I don't know what happened.
No worries, man. But I was just talking about just telling kids to be safe now, man. I know that there's been, you guys had not too long ago had an uprising there in Baltimore. I was worried about my people there, bro.
Yeah, Freddie Gray. Yeah, that was something, man. That was. But I miss it more. The times in Morehouse and Atlanta, GA. Like I told you, that time frame from '86. Anybody was there, even probably people from '85 to '93 or '94, was a fun time, a learning time, a lot to learn, a lot to experience. I mean, think about it. Freaknik became a national exposure. You know what I'm saying? The music industry, who would have thought that hip hop would come to Atlanta like that? The Dirty South, you know what I mean?
Outcasts,
and all of that, and another reason that since we getting back to Morehouse, we kind of got on a little tangent. Another reason I really came to Morehouse because it wasn't in a rural area. It was, I'm from the city. I was used to a city type environment, so. I mean, Atlanta's, it's not your typical city, northern city, you know what I mean? But it was still in kind of urban environment, basically.
It's a major city in the South.
Right.
Major.
So that made the transition easier too. You had more than just the school. You had, the city life. You had malls you can go to. You had
Lenox Mall.
Clubs. You had clubs you can go to. Yeah, Lenox. Yeah, I mean, so much. It was just so much to experience just outside of school alone. You know what I mean?
Did you ever go to Scenarios? It was up there. It was up there near Club 112. But it was 112, the big parking lot, and then across the street there was a mall. Well, there's a place in there called Scenarios.
Right. It was a club. You said?
Club. I wasn't 21, but I got up in there.
Well, there's probably a lot of places that we could get up into. We weren't, you know what I mean? That ain't nothing new.
Atlanta, was it Atlanta Knights?
Atlanta Knights.
Dominique's.
Right. There was probably so many. And again, that was, and being in the South, I never realized how many, well, being in Atlanta like that, how many strip clubs there were. You know what I mean? It's like, it was strip clubs everywhere. I mean, not that I frequented them. I just heard about it. You know what I'm saying? It was just, again, all a part of that.
What are you talking about? Montrez? What? I've never been there.
Right.
I don't know anything about the video game machine. I don't know anything about that.
So it was so many. Oh, it was just crazy, man. And I love, again, the people I met, the experiences I had.
Running shoes.
But, you know, that came later. That came like 94. Like 94, 95, I think. It wasn't there.
No, it was there. It was there.
It was?
It was there 92, 93. Yep. It was there.
Another place we would play ball is Emory. You know, they had a nice court.
Oh, bro. You don't even tell me about
Right.
Emory. I put in some work over at Emory, bro.
Right.
And it wasn't on the court.
Right.
I put some work on over. Hey, man, what is it? Emory, Georgia State, Georgia Tech.
Right.
What is it? Barter, School of Fashion.
Right.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah, it was great, man.
Taking road trips.
Right.
Going to Bennett. Now, I love my Stoner sisters, man. But Bennett is supposed to be our sister school.
Right.
So taking a trip to Bennett, man, and I'm rocking my Morehouse stuff, dude. I didn't know the love that we got. Mad love hanging out down there. Matter of fact, any place that I felt like we went, coming up to Howard, going to Hampton,
right,
going to Fisk, TSU. You know, it was like, oh, y'all from my house? I'm like, yeah. So hey, let's hang and kick it, man. Hey, man, that was carte blanche, bro.
Right.
Carte blanche. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
And glad to have you as a part of it, my man, Mike May.
I appreciate it, man. No, I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm gonna show you one last picture. I know you gotta run. I'm gonna show you one last picture to culminate all of this, which got me obviously.
There it is. There it
is. Then through the end. When I finally, because I came back the next year. Well, Marcus had was graduating too. So Marcus, I remember you talking about in one of the series, I don't know if it was Tiffany or Marcus, where you talking about look to your left, look to your right. Marcus I was sitting next to Marcus when they made that speech freshman year. And when we graduated, Marcus' last name is Nash, so he was we were in the same row, but like not that far from one another. We graduated sitting on the same row. So that was huge. You know what I mean? That was huge. We had tried to be roommates the whole time we were there. It ended up being roommates. Obviously my last year there, but obviously we remained friends and learned. Got to get to know other people from our hometowns, and especially from Chicago. I felt adopted. I felt loved. You know what I mean?
Marcus Carson,
right? Was married to Quayle, right? A dentist. Well, she's a dentist, but he's a pharmacist. Right.
Now, is he still in Maryland?
Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, his daughter, I think his daughter goes to Spelman. Or their daughter goes to Spelman. Yeah. Marcus is doing good. He's doing great, man. Got a pharmacy. Because he became a pharmacist. He's down. Actually, yeah, he's still in Maryland. I don't know if he lives in Baltimore, but I know he works at a pharmacy in Baltimore. Wow. But yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good. Him and Quay. Doing real good.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
But yeah, again, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I had to do it. I guess I gotta get on the schedule to do the music thing.
Yeah, man.
YouTube.
Mind if I play something for you? Is the new channel, man, on YouTube, man. And we got second episode is already up. First one up was with my boy James Shepard. The next one is Marcus up in there. So I guess we may have to do something special with some house music for you, man.
Right. Hey, look, man. I'm not just limited to house music, man. I have eclectic taste.
You got an
Now,
eclectic
speaking of
taste?
music, huh?
You got an eclectic taste. Okay, bro.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I like all kinds. Look, you know, we couldn't be up in that room and not just only listen to house music. We listen to all kinds of music.
No, we did. We listened to all kinds
Right.
of music, man.
And I'm gonna tell you another little secret of mine. When I don't think you knew this. I got to give you credit. When you lived at that house, not I think the year before, well, that year, when you was living across the street from Hank Aaron.
Yeah, Cascade.
You had, at that time, I thought was the smoothest or the coolest, like, audio system, Techniques. You had all your Technique stuff. Yeah, see, I remember that. When I tell you I was like, man, I was like, damn, the man. I said, you got it all. You got the tape, you got the equalizer, you got the turntable. Little secret of mine. That next year, when my first real job, I bought all Technique stuff, all because of you.
Seriously.
And I kept it for years. I bought, I bought the top grade stuff. I had the digital equalizer. I had the tape, the dual cassette at that time.
I'm about to break protocol.
Right.
I don't never get up from my spot.
It's all good.
But I'm about to break protocol because it's funny. I'm about to trip you out.
Wow. Don't tell me, Dad. Don't do it.
As I walk in my garage. and what's my nickname, bro?
Dan the Man. Disco Dan. Well, see, I called you Dan the Man. You Disco Dan. Okay.
So, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Go ahead. There it is.
Still got it.
Wow. In fact, I think I bought the same receiver, and each year I think I upgraded.
Upgraded the CD player, got the 5-disc.
Right. I did the same thing.
Upgraded my tape player so that I could have, the meters on it. And dude, and it still works.
I believe it. Wow. I had all that, Dan, all because of you. Because one year I worked at part-time at Best Buy. And I said, oh, I'm getting all of this. You know what I mean? All because of Dan. I said,
hey, man.
Dan had it, damn. Because Marcus would say, yeah, we going to Dan's house. He got the dual cassette. He got the whole thing. He can hook it up. I said, when I get out of college and I make some real money,
man,
I'm getting Dan. I don't even call it Techniques. I call it Dan's stereo system.
You tripping. That's funny, man. I had saved up for 2 summers, and my sister Carol helped me to buy that stereo, man. Shout out to my sister Carol. Yeah, man, because she was like, yeah, I want you to have. I mean, she's the one that she lived vicariously through me because she was supposed to go to Spelman.
I remember you talking about that.
So she says, I'm going to make sure you straight. And she did. She did. I'm going to have her on the show sooner or later. Her and my sister Edith, man. And maybe my sister Kim. But yeah, I got to get them on there. But yeah, Mike May in the house.
Dang.
And when this COVID situation is over, bro.
Hey,
man, you come on out here to Arizona, play some golf with me. Come on, hang out, have a cigar, relax, do a little social distancing.
Hey, I love a good cigar.
Hey, man.
I gotta get you the I don't know if you tried it or had it, but one of my favorite cigars is called LFD, La Flor Dominican.
Bro, I love LFDs.
Digger. That's my favorite.
I got one sitting right now, marinating and infusing right now, man.
Hey.
I'm a Perdomo guy.
Okay.
I'm a Perdomo dude, man. I'm a Perdomo dude. Besides getting me an Opus X, if I can find one, get one in. But yeah, man, I'm a Perdomo cat. Love them, leave it. So we got a cigar group.
Okay.
Called Tap That Ash.
On Facebook?
It's an actual group. But
well,
yeah. So tapthatAsh.club.
Okay.
Just look us up, man. Hey, and as always, you on YouTube Near Me Not to Hear Me, brother. I appreciate you coming through.
Hey, man. Again,
the people.
I appreciate you, the love that you gave me to allow me to spend this time. We can talk for hours.
Hey,
You
man,
can
we
tell
have,
a Morehouse man. You can always tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell him much. And you can't stop us from talking.
can't stop us. Won't
We can
stop.
talk all day, so much to talk about. But I know you got to cut it short at some time.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate the love. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you,
I
brother.
can't say enough, man. I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Hey, bro. The folks will see you again, man, on the next show of Mind If I Play Something For You.
Hey,
All
that's
right.
what's up. All right,
Mike
brother.
Day, my man.
All right, Dan
And
the
ladies
man.
and gentlemen, always get a chance to subscribe to us on YouTube Near Me Not to Hear Me. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. And check out the new show, Mind If I Play Something For You. It's a brand new YouTube channel. Otherwise, we'll see y'all again soon. Peace.
Peace.